Tit for Tat is a program with passionate people discussing the things they love. Adult language and themes will be used. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Tit for Tat. Tonight, we talk about Transformers. And since I decided to go with this subject, I decided to go with the two biggest fans I could find. With me, as always, is Jay Bowman.
Grimlock King.
At least it's not Wheelie. And they're chuckling in the background as our friend and fellow Transformers fan, Adam MacGregor. Adam?
Me, Grimlock King!
We have different Grimlocks here tonight. You have the 1986 version, and then the War for Cybertron, who barely spoke.
Yeah, but War for Cybertron was actually a good design, unlike the movie Grimlock.
Yeah. The sad thing is that they actually did have a version of that movie, Grimlock, that talked in the one game. He did in the movie, and all he had to say was one freaking line. They couldn't do that.
It's Bay. What do you expect?
Yeah, could be worse. Could be Yui Bowl.
I would have been happy with Grimlock Kick Butt.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm also happy with Jazz saying shit, so you know what copy I like.
Yep.
Jazz, I missed the 1986 version. Let's start there, shall we?
Yeah.
We admit it, as Transformers fans, G1 was nothing more than a toy commercial. I will admit that.
Yes.
However, even though it was a toy commercial, it had entertaining stories. Never made sense all the time, but entertaining. And the show what show we got depended on what toy they wanted to push. I will grant that.
Yeah.
Yep. So, that era, rough animation, I'll grant that.
Especially Season 3. Oh, Season 3 was bad.
Except they actually started story-driven after Season 2 because, more cohesive story because of the movie.
Very much so.
Which I will give them absolute props for. That was really the genesis of the story, actual anime-style Transformers, instead of the toy commercial. Okay, I know you're both much younger than me and didn't see the original show until it was on like Netflix and or CWTV on reruns or whichever Canadian station it was on up there.
So I got my Saturday morning reruns and after school reruns.
I honestly didn't really get much of G1 until after college. I was mostly raised on Beast Wars.
Which was awesome. What was your favorite character of G1?
Favorite G1 character? You didn't see him too often, but I really like the concept of Broadside. Aircraft carrier that turned into a jet that turned into a robot. Very obscure. He's in the opening credits for Season 3. Very briefly.
Yeah, that was when their triple changes were just really hitting the market.
Yeah, I always liked the triple changes. The toys did more than normal toys.
Yeah, which was more for your money in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Sorry, answering something.
Now I really gotta think of who my favorite was. Because there were so many, but I guess if you know where my vehicle loyalties lie, you can probably guess.
The Bug.
Yep, Bumblebee.
The original Bug, not that goddamn Camaro.
Nope, it was the original Volkswagen Bumblebee. Or Goldbug, depending.
Yeah.
Goldbug, Goldfire. He went through a couple different names depending on your translation.
And even sometimes the episodes couldn't get the continuity right.
There was continuity in G1 before season 3.
It's just the wrong color.
See?
There was a lot of...
He was red for some reason.
That was Cliffjumper.
There's actually one, it's a party scene in that episode of season 3 where you see Bumblebee and Goldbug at the party at the same time.
Yeah. There were a lot of weird and the reason I say he was red because there were times where it was Bumblebee's voice and his body style, but he would jump from goldish yellow to red back to like that bright yellow to a goldish yellow. It all depended on the background. It was really... There was some bad coloring because there were times that Optimus had his colors reversed too.
I still think one of my favorite continuity errors for all of the Transformers is the opening credits for season 3. At the end of it, you see Rodimus, Cup, and Hot Rod running towards the screen. It's actually not Cup. It's Springer painted blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. But speaking of my generation, it was something like we had never seen before. So we soaked it up.
It was revolutionary at the time. It might not have been one of the best shows at the time, but it stuck. It really spoke to a lot of people.
Obviously, or 30 years later.
And it's still a cultural movement, really.
Yeah, it was. Even the people who produced the show had no clue it was going to become as popular as it did.
Which led to toys. And I will admit, I have more than my fair share. I had the original Soundwave. Mm-hmm. Granted, I had to put him back together again. I'm more of a restorer than I am a collector, but...
Yeah.
But the toys, that was the whole point of the show, and dear God... Getting those things was worse than getting a Cabbage Patch doll at times.
Yeah.
You remember how there was that craze, or I know you guys don't remember it in particular, but there's news of the craze of the Cabbage Patch dolls for that Christmas?
I remember fondly.
Yes. The only one harder to find was Transformers Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm. And then there's always that poor parent. After the movie came out, Optimus Prime, where can I find that toy? Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, you're getting nothing. Nothing!
I remember my father. You guys remember Tickle Me Elmo, that big Christmas thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Dad looking me in the eye and said, I survived Optimus. I could find damn Tickle Me Elmo if I want one.
I mean, you had these things, you were the shit.
Yeah.
I had a G1 Megatron when I was a kid.
Oh.
Before the entire, you're going to get in trouble for carrying a gun to school craze.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when, they had to put the orange cap on him.
I had pre-cap.
Wow.
That's a wonderful model of a Walther PPK.
Oh, yeah. Balanced perfectly. Mm-hmm. Sadly, I picked it up at a thrift store for 25 cents.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. 10 weeks later, it was stolen by a jealous neighbor.
Oh.
So, yeah, I miss my... You want to talk about being the shit in school? I showed up with Megatron.
I think the most reckless I did was brought a frog to school once.
Again, different era. You could actually bring toys to school. You would actually be able to play with your own toys on the playing grounds,
Yeah. The biggest fad when I was in school was Pogs, and I'm kind of glad that one went away.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. It's still not dead.
It's like the way the market is and everything has to come back. If Gem can come back, Pogs are coming back. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, I don't want to talk about Gem.
It's
That
out.
is
In Pog form.
Easy, Millhouse.
So, we have Season 1, Season 2, and then we have the thing that honestly changes...
Everything.
we have a movie. And dear God, what a movie it was.
It still gives me goosebumps at certain points, and I've watched it 1,000 times.
I've burned through 2 DVDs, and I know exactly which points to make you go, damn.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I did it, and I'm admitting to it. It was the time. Slow fade in.
We have Transformers the movie. Stop. I'm not going to sing that.
It's not a play while.
It's so easy to get caught up in it, though, isn't it?
Oh, I have the sound. I have the soundtrack, including the one with the score that has the Unicron melody on it.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to find on my hard drive today, Jay.
I have it.
So you understand exactly how often I've played that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now this song and this soundtrack is exactly part of the reason it was just so holy God.
Uh-huh.
And the soundtrack, even today, is one of the most loved soundtracks out there.
Yeah. It's right up there with the awesome mix from Guardians. It really is.
I in my own personal opinion, I think it's a better mix than the awesome mix, but that's me.
Yeah.
And then we have one of the traumatizing points of my childhood, of most of everybody's childhood of my generation. Optimus Prime gets his ass handed to him because of Hot Rod's stupidity.
I feel the wounds are fatal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then to have Optimus Prime, the one we've been hero worshipping for 2 years. Everybody had to buy him. Him, Silver Streak, which is still a bitch to find.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, your lord, the prices on him. Master's copy of that is just, oh, I'm going to mortgage my house, don't worry, ha 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 ha. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironhide, all of those just toast. And you're just going, what the fuck?
I think, for me, Ironhide's death hit a little bit harder than Optimus's, because you see Optimus fade out. You don't see what happens to Ironhide, so your imagination makes it as terrible as you could possibly think.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was...
that was just...
yeah, it was point blank, no mercy, as brutal as it could get. For a kids... For what was shown as a kids movie, that was pretty ballsy on them.
Well, that and the language. The language is what caused the most problem with the adults in my time.
I love...
Funny, on the language. They had to do that.
Yeah.
To get their rating. They had to have all of that with the language, the violence. And today, that would be a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I do love that in some of the first DVDs that came out for the first movie, the first 2 or 3 releases at least, Chapter 14, Swear Word, is the name of that particular part in the movie.
I think the last Rhino cut, which is, in my opinion, the best cut of the DVD, actually still has that listing, and it was one of the last DVDs that didn't cut that scene.
I have the uncut version. I think it's the 25th anniversary version where they put it all back together.
I own 2 versions of it. One of them is a Canadian version that has a very different intro than the standard release.
Well, that's because you're Canadian.
Yeah. And it's not in French, ironically enough.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Of course, granted, I live about half an hour away from Quebec, and I can't speak French to save my life.
Well, that's because you're Canadian, not French Canadian. So we ended up with season 3, and don't get me wrong. Rodimus and Hot Rod, that whole transition was cool. The stories were better in season 3. The art,
Yeah.
It was improved, but it wasn't
Refined.
Yeah. It was still a toy commercial route. But it was a toy commercial with a story, which kind of changed the format for a lot of shows back then.
It did have some really good story arcs. Carnage in C Minor was a great story arc. Very, very interesting. Animation was one of the worst of any of the episodes, but the story was good.
Yeah, they had cut a lot of budget by then for the animation. They were pushing for faster deadlines to get them out. Because, Hasbro execs, as we can see from their current toy line, are still a bunch of coke addicts.
Don't get me started on the new toy line.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there.
I know. I'm leaving the ranting till later.
So, then we have, after the end of Transformers, the original G1, we have this 10-year just nothing.
Yeah, they did re-release Gen 1 with the Cybernet Space Cube.
Yeah, it was...
Those episodes were some of the first G1 that I caught, but growing up in the country, I didn't have cable, so I didn't see it very often.
You didn't miss much because a lot of the transitions was lost.
Even the intro and outros took up so much of the animation. Just all of it was lost.
Yeah.
All of it.
You were saying, Jay?
Oh, that's that. Yeah, there really wasn't much to miss with that re-release, and that was the one that was most often played when I was growing up, catching reruns after school.
Yeah.
But thankfully, on occasion, you would get an original cut, and there you could actually see the difference.
Yeah.
Very much.
So we have that 10-year re-release, still push the same toys. But, yeah, it was a barren time. And then we get the early 90s, mid-90s, and we get Beast Wars. Which...
Beast Wars.
I love Beast Wars, don't get me wrong.
Or in Canada, Beasties. They weren't allowed to use the word war in a kids show at that time.
So Beast Machines was just even more confusing for you.
Oh, gosh.
And yes, I'm going to give there... I love that show. I don't care what anybody says. It's a fucking awesome show.
That it is.
Okay, so we get to Beast Wars. Now, again, they follow the same format. And someone else is playing with his Transformers. I can hear it in his background.
Sorry.
It's okay, I just transformed Cheetor, so I'm in the same boat.
And you can hear what I'm doing.
You're getting Beast Wars queued up.
I've got the intro going right now.
Bring it up a bit.
See?
Here, I'll just restart this shit.
So,
you know what? Here, go to season 3 opening.
Transmetals, we'll get there.
Yes.
And that led to some of the best story arcs. Okay, I will admit, I'm in the camp that thinks the CG works well, even with the current time, because it is a story about very primal times.
Yes.
To me, it's in the place that the reboot does. The CG is good for what it is.
Wars. Now we fall into the other fight that this caused.
Oh, here it comes.
Truck, not monkey. Fuck you, it's that one.
Yeah.
By that time, the old school fanboys were in their teens. And the newer generation was watching Optimus Primal, who is a totally different
character.
I want that clear. He is not Optimus Prime. He is descended from Optimus Prime. He's a monkey, not a truck. Different character. Get over yourselves. Sorry, that's the other Transformer fanboys that I've had to deal with.
Even the Megatron is not the same Megatron we grew up with either.
No.
He's just another character who took upon the mantle of Megatron because he liked Megatron's philosophies.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Say the big thing for me was that Beast Wars itself really got me paying attention to voice acting. Just the characters, the voices. I love David Kaye's Megatron. It is so good.
Oh God, yes.
I would love to see him and Mark Hamill work together on a cartoon and just see how much scenery they chew up between the two of them. I really would.
Oh Lord, there wouldn't be anything left. It'd be the only thing that could be even more over the top is to throw Tim Curry into that.
I'm just fucking walking.
Say what, Jay?
Waspinator.
Waspinator. Now we got into Beast Wars brought a couple good things to it. It brought a whole set of new characters, actual writing. You know, not just toy commercials. They were pushing for the toys. I'm not denying that.
Go ahead. There was actual care to the actual story and characterization.
They actually started with story arcs that they worked into the filler episodes. There was an intent and purpose to the episodes right from the get-go.
Right.
And it gave us some, great characters like the Rat.
Mm-hmm.
Rat Trap.
Yes.
See, I still go with Dinobot. Dinobot was just one of the most dynamic characters of any Transformers series I've ever done.
Waspinator is my spirit animal. I will completely I hate Waspinator.
I'm going to have to go with Black Tarantula because she always was that one that you knew you could trust her to a point.
Yes.
She comes back later on in another series, and I'm going to argue fanboy at that.
Beast Machines, but that continues on her character arc, which I really loved.
No, she appears in a later series, too.
Which one?
And she appears, it was animated, yeah, because she has a thing against RC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She also appears in Prime.
That's I count all three as just different characters with the same stylings.
Yeah, but if we're talking about the name and type of characters, and I love and hate. I love her Beast Wars appearance, but being an RC fanboy, her animated appearance is just no. I don't like you anymore. You're harming the one I like.
Yes.
Okay, so season 1 and 2, we have standard fare, but it's moving forward. And there's good stories, good arc, good voice acting. Starscream comes back. Let's be honest. Who didn't root for that one?
That was great. Waspinator is finally a badass.
Yes, he actually does get up and do something.
Uh-huh. And just, I love the one little bit of animation where Waspinator as Starscream rises up and just beats the floor with Megatron. But look at Megatron's face, just that, what the fuck?
Yes.
The animation might not have been able to convey much, but that was perfect.
Actually, the animation was able to convey a lot of facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one thing like Optimus Primal, even in his monkey mode, there's a lot of expression to him that is impressive.
Yeah,
I will admit, the movement was a little rough at times. But I think they sacrificed movement for expression, which really pushed the stories better.
Yes. And it was a nice touch, too, in seasons 2 and 3. They actually used the toys themselves as animation models. So they look just like the ones on the shelves.
Yep. Which was a huge bonus for us.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, even at the teenagers, I was still buying Transformers toys.
I don't think any of us really stop. We just buy fewer as when we can.
We have kids, and that's why we buy them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Until the kids destroy your priceless one, you're going, I'm going to kill you, kid!
That was an original version of that character. Did you dare destroy my space anus?
Orson Welles, we will miss you.
Yes. Like,
Leonard Nimoy, we will miss you.
I still love the story of when Orson Welles showed up for the first reading for the dialogue for the Transformers movie. He walked in, he looked at everybody. So I'm playing a planet. Just the awe of that. It's just hilarious.
This is bad comedy. But so we ended up with some fantastic toys, some fantastic stories, and then Transmetals came along.
Enter the Dragon. Sends chills down me every damn time.
Don't get me wrong, I have the Dragon Megatron around here somewhere. I love
it. Is a great toy. I love it. I absolutely love it.
However, that whole arc it felt forced.
They wanted to go out with a bang, and they did push a bit hard.
Yeah, that just... They lost a lot of credibility, in my opinion, because they went from reasonable, decent stories to just... Okay, I see what you're trying to do, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of loss in Transmetals.
They did try. They were still trying.
There were some really cool characters that came out of that.
Like, what's it? Silvermane.
Silverbolt.
Yes.
Silverbolt.
Silverbolt.
He was the White Knight epitomized. What did you say, Jay?
Wasn't Silvermane one of the when they did the constructors as animals?
Probably.
Which it kind of felt like a Voltron ripoff in a way, but it was still pretty cool.
So that leads to some really great toys. They're like both versions of the Dragon Megatron. The Triple Changer Optimus Primal, not so much.
Quad Changer, actually. He did have a flying mode and a tank mode.
He might have 5 modes if you go with the half alt.
He was the first large Transformer toy I ever got as a kid. I liked it, but it just felt there was just trying to do too much all at once.
It was clunky and the transformations were hard.
Mm-hmm.
The mold was okay, but it wasn't as detailed and as good as the rest of the Optimus Primal line.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. The mold and transformation on the Dragon of Megatron was actually a step up from the Transmetal dinosaur. T-Rex.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I did like the Transmetal 1 with little flight propellers that came out of it for VTOL.
Uh-huh.
I like that toy. The problem though is it's hard to find that son of a bitch now because of the gold plastic syndrome they're starting to get.
Yeah, that does not last long now.
No, it's that critical waist joint that busts like crazy.
I've had to rebuild so many of those goddamn... It gets to the point of really? After the 6th or 7th time you rebuilt the damn thing, you're just like, no, fuck it, I'm done.
That's one thing that I do see having huge potential for 3D printing now is just these old toys we love, they're falling apart. Let's make the replacement parts.
Yeah. Which would be nice, except most of this... Go, Jay?
Let's make them better.
I was going to say, most of these, the idea would be great, except the plastics right now for the 3D printers just aren't strong enough to hold up with the old plastics from
Yeah.
the 80s, you know?
I said the potential's there, just we're not quite there.
Yeah.
We're getting there, though. I mean, we're quickly getting better with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And of course, we can make 3D print with titanium now. That's just insane.
Oh, no, that's not going to go wrong in any way, shape, or form. So, Beast Wars leads to Beast Machines.
Which is kind of a mixed bag depending on where you lived.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Fox Kids version, California.
I had the Fox Kids version over here on the East Coast, but I know like some places they didn't translate it as Beast Machines, but I knew Beast Wars, which confused a lot of people, and it didn't air in a lot of places outside of Japan. It actually kind of a very limited release.
Yeah. It was interesting, is the word to use for it. I like it. I do. Some parts just...
A little heavy-handed.
The whole pacifist approach to it is just, no, you got to go in guns blazing to take this son of a bitch out.
Yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed the story arcs, and it proved that the characters could evolve, which was great for me as a Transformers fan. Because we went from this... Well, we went from Beast Wars to Beast Machines, same characters, and the evolution of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was a big change.
Which turned off a lot of people to it, because it was the same characters evolving.
Evolving's good, but a bunch of soldiers evolving into Buddhist monks, that kind of threw a lot of people off.
Except, if you know some Buddhists like I do, it didn't throw me off that much, because I do know that the Shaolin method is still a viable way.
Oh, I know it's a way. It's just that you watch these things expecting the guns blazing and the action packed, and here we're just going to sit and meditate for 20 minutes.
But at least it wasn't human-centrics like the fucking movies. 30 fucking minutes before we even get a first goddamn Transformer.
Very true. I am stunned that storylines in the comic books, like Last Stand of the Wreckers, or even oh god, I forget, just lost the name of it. But some of the new IDW comics are all on Cybertron. Stormbringer, that comic line would be a great TV show.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had a chance to get into the IDW comics. I mean, I've seen some of their art, and they are just amazing looking, you know?
The detail is just phenomenal now.
But then again, it is IDW, so I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
As has been stated previously on this show, I am a bit of a IDW and Dark Horse fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bit. Shut up, Jay.
I still think
when IDW gets it right, they get it right. But on occasion, they do miss.
And when they get it right. Hearts of Steel. Steampunk Transformers. Oh, fuck yes.
Yes. Yes.
That was such a great story. The characters were great. Jules Verne shows up. Everything about it was awesome. I want more of that story.
But it's never going to get made into a cartoon because they can't push the toys on that. That's a collector's toy, you know?
Uh-huh. Unfortunately.
With the molds and everything that would have to be done for it, that would have to be con exclusives or...
There was a third-party version of the Optimus from that storyline who actually didn't make it into the comics, which is another story in itself. But the toy that came out... They look great on paper, but to actually make them do what they do in the comics was really tricky. They made a Starscream, a Shockwave, and an Optimus. The Optimus is the worst of the three. He's really spindly in the arms and upper...
Right, because it is... Now we're getting into the mold problems that we're started to see today.
Yes.
Because we've gone from... Okay, I'm currently playing with a Beast Machines... Cheetor.
Okay.
And he's got a bit of... He's a great toy. He's... With two kids and myself, playing with him. So he is a good, solid toy.
Mm-hmm.
But those damn ball joints at times just... You can really see where they were trying for it.
Yeah.
But there's times it just... You go to move the leg and the whole fucking leg comes off.
Oh, you got that great big son of a bitch then, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to... Him.
Yeah.
Not the Beast Machines one, but the Beast War one.
With the gut gun.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of fun that some of the toys actually had little water squirters in them.
But yeah, see, that was the fun thing. They did more.
Mm-hmm.
Beast Machines, they did a better sculpt.
It looks so dynamic and really close to the show as well.
But the playability factor went down.
Yeah. The big ones were starting to get into the collector's grade at that point.
And when I was buying the Beast Machines, I was not only looking for myself, I was looking for my son at the time. I'm not spending $40 on a toy that is going to fall apart the first time my son plays with it.
Yeah, that was the first time that Transformers really stepped from what I always call, they step from action figure to posable statue.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
it's
a good way to...
Kai arts, like the Kai play art stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is action statue.
Yeah. The Rebel Tech toys are the same way, too. There's just so much you can do with them.
But you don't want to get out like a kid and play with them because they might actually break.
Yeah.
Rebel Tech you don't want to breathe heavy on because, oh, look, the joint just came off. God damn it.
Uh-huh. A couple characters. I love how some characters come with a stand, but if you put them on the stand in the flying position, the leg's going to slip off.
Yeah.
So, Beast Machines, mixed reviews, good story, good writing, good voice acting. It was pretty much was the end of the Beast Transformers because some idiot back at Hasbro decided, hey, let's go back to the freaking cars and trucks because we have the molds for them. I'm guessing it was a slip in sales because, no one wants toys of animals anymore. Yes, I'm still bitter about that because I enjoyed my Beast Machines, damn it. And my Beast Wars.
They were fun. I had quite a few as a kid.
Like, one thing that they had the setup, they had the episode. Why they didn't release an Optimal Optimus with Megatron's head is beyond me.
Because
that was terrifying.
But it made work so well. I can't kick his ass, so I'll become him and kick his ass. Like, the story itself made a whole lot of sense.
It makes sense, but that is a nightmare in and of itself. The speed strength of a monkey with that head. That is a terrifying concept. What has science brought us?
What science has brought us is a screaming wallet. Because that's when we get into animated. I am not in the camp that enjoys animated. I hate animated. I hate Kari. I hate the designs. I hate the voice acting. The only thing I liked about the show was the Zen... Yes. I will
theme song is pretty good.
Theme song's awesome.
And I like some of the designs. I like they're more Cybertronian when they go into robot mode.
I can see that, but I answer to that, Kari.
I do not like the human character, I admit it, but I like the Transformers themselves for the most part. I think a lot of them are really good.
I think the big thing that surprised the fans of Transformers, and especially Transformers Animated, is when we started to see these pictures of the characters, when the first information started to hit the internet. How the fuck is that going to be a toy? And they fucking did it. The
beautiful.
Except for Black Arachnia.
That. Yeah, they had a couple bombs. They really did.
My son got a Black Arachnia toy, triple changer, for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We had scrimped for this. We had cut corners to get this. It lasted 15 minutes out of the package.
Those spindly legs got it every damn time.
It wasn't just the spindly legs. The head came off every fucking time.
Oh, yeah. This is also
the Grimlock's arms?
What's that?
Because your animated Grimlock has those really spindly arms.
Those things snap so easy during transformation.
That's what I thought. My little brother never had one of those, but I always wanted one because I actually like the animated Grimlock.
I love the Grimlock. I love that Grimlock. The only thing is the first time you transform him, you got to collapse the arms to get the extra digitigrade joint out of the elbow. And that first time you collapse them, you have to squeeze and press, and you feel like you're going to twist it in half. It's a very stiff joint the first couple times.
Unlike the original Grimlock toy, which they based it off of, but just changed some lines, the original Grimlock toy was very simple to transform.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, as times progress, it's fallen. One of these days I'll learn to fucking talk. It's fallen to the silver plastic problem. It's similar to the gold plastic, but the silver aluminum plate.
Yes.
Good design on those toys. I love them to death. They're expensive as hell to find now because they have been...
The chrome flaking, yeah.
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 It didn't translate well, in my opinion, to the toys for animated because it's not so interlocking. It is that looser formation, like more rounded. That's words I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which made making the toys transformations a little bit harder than they should have been, in my opinion.
Yeah. Some of them just, the way they fold up, though, again, with the triple changers, I love animated Blitzwing. What a fantastic toy. The triple changer head as well with the character. I love the three personality of them.
And the voice actor did a great job with that. I'm not going to deny that.
And the fact that the characters are all instantly recognizable, too. You got Kremzik, you got Colonel Klink, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. It just a fantastic job all around.
Yes.
I'm in the camp that stories should be as important as pushing the toys. And in my opinion, animated fell there.
Mm-hmm.
There was too much filler episodes, not enough story pushing, and it was it really felt like G1 in the commercial grade.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not something you want your Transformers cartoon to feel like, G1.
A big thing, too, with the series that it made it really suffer, I think, is that it was created to be the whole series itself was a filler, just there's no Transformers movie this year. Let's put something out to keep people interested till the next one.
Yeah. Transformer movies. God, I hate those goddamn things. Oh, we're getting there next. So, we had the toys out. Animated, Jay, what did you think of it? You enjoyed it. Why?
I liked animated more. Like, I'm a fanboy for good animation and character design.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where animated really got me. And because it did have some good stories to it. They weren't frequent, but okay, now I'm blanking on the character's name. The ninja, when he really upgrades himself.
Jazz.
Yes. When Jazz upgrades himself. And that storyline to when he learns everything and when he grows, and Ironhide goes from an idiot, really.
Yeah.
Over the show, he does change, and he gets better, and he learns more about himself, and they do have good character arcs. Even Optimus changes from this very by the books to learning he needs to think outside the box to be a true leader.
Mm-hmm. And even the Samurai Jazz toy, I have both the first wave and then they did the upgrade, and I love the armor upgrade for the figure. They kept the same figure. Same figure, they tweaked a couple things so they can clip the sidecar onto him, but he is just fantastic.
I think what stopped me from a lot of the animated toys was the price. At this point, we were hitting the market of, okay, we're going to put out a 6-inch figure for $15. Are you fucking insane?
It's getting worse.
Yeah, it is.
That's the budget boy in me speaking. I'm just used to... We went from Optimus Prime, which was a 12-inch figure with a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
$35, 80s. Christmas Rush 80s.
Yeah.
After Christmas Rush, you could pick them up for 20.
Mm-hmm.
To, okay, we're going to put out a figure the size of Bumblebee for $20, non-Christmas Rush.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me, wait, what?
Well, look at the new Combiner Wars stuff right now. Actually, just go to the store and buy a torso and the 4 limbs. You're looking at...
I hate Combiner Wars.
Some of them I like some of the aspects of it.
I like some of the aspects. I don't like the fact that I have to go buy 12 different toys to create one robot. Mm-hmm. And that's all it is goddamn... Like the old Combiners. Mm-hmm. You could buy the gift set and get Devastator.
See? The big thing with me is I'm waiting because I know that sometime there's going to be a Combiner Wars box set with one character in a big box. That's going to be coming out. I know it.
Maybe. But they've been able to nickel and dime everybody to death with this.
No, but it'll be like you're buying a full set of Masterclass toys.
Uh-huh.
To get it all at one.
To get a Combiner War toy, just to go to the store and buy all 5 pieces, well, 6 because some turn into a gun. To get those, you're dropping $150 easily at retail.
That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a Masterclass toy.
When I can buy... Okay, again, this is the cheapskate in me speaking. When I can buy a bunch of D1 combiners that are broke... Okay, I'm going to show up you on the camera because these were all broke. For those that can't see what you can't, I have a bunch of G1.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm describing for the audience. Different parts. Some from Sopranosaur, some from Mensaur, some from Odds and Ends. When I can combine them together, I paid $5 for that lot.
Yep.
With a bit of paint and a bit of glue, I will have something that is A, original, and B, unique. Mm-hmm. But interchangeable with the older stuff.
There's actually a company right now that has taken the Combiner Wars toys and they're 3D printing adapters. So you can take the arm and leg drones and attach them to an Energon Optimus Prime. Which
will get nixed by Hasbro because most third-party stuff like that does. Mm-hmm. Because Hasbro is the devil.
Because the one thing that I've seen I really liked was somebody took the new Optimus Prime torso and connected Energon Wing Saber to it with these adapters. That looks pretty slick. And kind of glazed over the Unicron trilogy. Energon Optimus and Wing Saber, my 2 favorite figures, maybe second to the original Robots in Disguise Optimus Ultra Magnus.
Yeah.
Omega Prime was amazing.
I forgot that Armada came out before animated.
Mm-hmm. Armada, Energon, and Cybertron.
Cybertron came out after animated.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. Because it was animated then Cybertron because they wanted to get back to the original style.
Okay. It wasn't like that in my area.
Over here,
okay.
Because Cartoon Network had Cybertron by then, and animated and closed out.
Okay. Because here we had the Unicron trilogy, and then animated came afterwards.
Cybertron was... Okay, let's talk about Armada. Let's go back in time since I've screwed up the timeline again. Jay, you're a defender of Armada. What can you say about it?
Armada gets kind of hard to talk about.
Pokeformers, got to catch them all.
Yeah, that actually kind of sums it up.
I got so tired of having to buy all those little goddamn, what you call it?
Minicons.
Minicons.
I do not like the Minicons. I do not like the damn Cybertronian keys.
Say, as much as the Cyber Key gimmick was goofy, the Primus toy we got from Cybertron was fantastic.
They could do cool things, and I like that not all of them were proprietary to one toy.
Yeah, you can swap one around.
But the fact that sometimes you needed up to 3 damn keys to make something work.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I was going to say this earlier because, Hasbro, we have their theme song that they take to heart now, Will.
Yeah.
I have access. I'm going to have fun. I have toys.
The story and the artwork on Energon drove me nuts.
Energon did exactly the opposite that Armada did. Armada had a slow start, but a fantastic ending.
Yes.
Energon, it had a good start, but then it tanked. It absolutely tanked.
Emo Starscream.
Yeah.
Should not be.
But here's the problem with me is that I'm really have mixed feelings about Energon because I know it's bad, really bad at times, but I like some of the toys. The whole power linking thing, I love combiners, and it was all combiner toys. I love that.
I preferred the Armada mold myself.
The big thing with me, though, is that Energon was the series that actually brought me back into the fandom. Because after Beast Wars is over, I didn't watch anything. I never even heard about Robots in Disguise from 2000 until after I graduated. But when I was in college, Friday nights, it was...
Robots in Disguise didn't get aired over here in the States. The only reason I know about it is because I've been able to go on YouTube.
Yeah. We got it here in Canada. But that was after they said we weren't going to do it and then said, yeah, we're going to do it anyways.
Right.
It was weird.
And America, we also got fucked over with Headmaster, so...
Oh, that was such a god-awful storyline. That little spiky bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put us with these toys that you even look at them wrong when they fall apart. I hated the Headmaster series.
It was better in comic format, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
The comics, they did something cool with it. The movies, as they released them, blew.
Then Cybertron. Okay, I love Cybertron. I thought the CG was great. The cell animation was great. There was times it was a little human-centric, but it was a better balance than some of the others.
There was one thing that always bugged me about Energon was every once in a while you had Kicker have to interact with a robot sometimes. And the only way they could do that was to actually make the robot the same cell animation style they used for Armada.
Uh-huh.
If you need to switch the animation style to make your stories work, why not just take and use what you did the last time?
That was stupid. That's why.
If Armada had used, or Energon had used Armada's animation style, it would have been a much better show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep the story, the bad dub, keep all that, just change the animation style.
I don't even talk about the dub.
What? Every time they call that Mika, they keep changing her name like 7 times throughout the run of the show. It's horrendous.
Throughout the show, hell, they could change her name 4 times in one episode.
Yeah.
It's like...
There's a reason there are Energon drinking games.
Yeah, it's called death.
If somebody goes, take a shot.
Dude, season 1, you're dead.
Somebody flubs a line, take a shot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Now you're talking half season 1, you're dead.
The first episode, you're dead. Christ.
I don't understand the love for Energon. The story was just awful. The animation was horrible. G1 was better animation.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad to
Yeah.
say.
The thing with me for Energon was the toys. The Optimus, the Omega Supreme, all good toys.
But then you're getting into that bitch I've been having since the prices. The prices are just... But that Energon and Armada toys, when you're paying that price for that size toy, there's an issue.
Yeah.
You know, it just... When the Generations Optimus has a better sculpt and a better movement, and it's less than the Armada toys.
Yeah.
And I understand. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, my complaint of ruining RC in so many ways.
Yeah.
The boob cannon. Did I say that? The uniboob cannon. And Alternity when she becomes a human robot.
Oh, Alternity, and don't get me started on the other sideline that created.
Yeah.
Say, as bad as Energon get, I will watch it. It'll be the only thing I'll ever watch for the rest of my life if I could erase KISS players from my memory.
That never happened. Fuck you. I don't care what anyone says. That never fucking happened.
Wow. What the hell?
Penis tongue. HR Geeker when he likes little girls. I've always came to that.
This whole Starscream side story from that was just fucked. There's no way to put it otherwise.
How the fuck did they take such a great character like Starscream, who is just nuts to begin with? Let's be honest. G1, I don't care what incarnation you have him in, he is nucking futs.
The best Starscreams always have been.
Yes. And then you give him that emo bullshit, and then you do what the fuck did they do to him in Skisk? But just no. No.
For those listening who don't know, long story short, Starscream's ghost enters the body of a 12-year-old robot girl while she's in the bathroom. He immediately runs out of the bathroom, plans to take over the world, and declares this to the nearest crowd with his panties still around his ankles. And this is why we drink.
Giant penis tongue. And a little girl.
So yes, for all of those that think we Transformers fans are all freaks, no. We are a different type of freak. Thank you very much.
Even the Japanese didn't like KISS players that much.
And that's saying something, isn't it?
When your home crowd goes, what the fuck is this bullshit? And then you try to push it off on the international crowd, and the rest of the international crowd's going, are you fucking mad?
Yeah, well, you might get arrested for ordering the comic books. There's a problem.
It was so convenient for them to put all the radio plays in Japanese with all the figures, just to get rid of the merchandise and hope nobody pay attention.
I won't order anything from that line. And that says a lot, because I've been known to hunt down samurai Asian models from Go, Transformers Go. Shitty show. I mean, there's just no redeeming Go.
No.
The CG's rough. The character interactions are wooden at best.
It makes Energon look good at times.
But I will give it this. The sculpts and the combiners are fantastic to look at. Don't breathe on them.
Yeah, they're Ghibli as all hell, but by God, they're gorgeous.
And I won't even touch KISS stuff. That's just no. Nope.
One good thing came out of KISS players, and that was a joke in Shore Pact.
Don't read that one.
I'll grant that.
When she orders them and just has them kissing like they're Barbie dolls. That was hilarious.
Oh, Christ.
It's a fucking great point for that character. Who later of a store, I wish to have the most epic of hate fucks. which makes it even more hilarious when you go back and see that strip.
And yet they still ended up getting married.
And doing great as a couple, surprisingly. That's frightening.
Yes. But Adam, for you and for our listeners, if you like Transformers and you really like the third-party stuff and the reviews and that stuff, go check out his blog at Short Packed, because he has some of the best and most honest reviews of the newest Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
And he has some gorgeous pics, and you just go, I fucking hate you.
Like every time
series. Am I the only one that likes Starscream Necromancer?
I haven't seen that one.
Adam probably is. The newer one where it's the 3 kids and RC's one of the main characters.
Is that Prime?
Yeah, Transformers Prime.
And the opening episode, Starscream is raising the dead with dark energy.
Oh, that was awesome.
I love Transformers Prime. Like
that's the best iteration of it. Period.
Yes.
Transformers Prime is what the movies wish they were.
Yes.
Flat out.
The Transformers Prime had great storylines. Fantastic storylines. Animation is, even though it's CG, it is just fucking gorgeous.
And even the fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The voice. Go ahead, Adam. You were starting.
Sorry. The big thing for me that really made Prime stand out for me is that I found myself cheering for these kids. Especially the Apex Armor episode where Miko pounds the shit out of Starscream. I was laughing my ass off. That was beautiful.
That was everything that should have been done with all these kids, all these human interactions on all the generations. And they got it absolutely perfect balance of the human interaction and robot interaction. We got what we wanted from a Transformers show.
And, best RC.
Oh, yes. God, yes. Don't fuck with that RC.
She was not only a badass, but she had that right balance where she felt human.
Mm-hmm.
There was an actual bonding and interaction, almost a sibling-like love there to her partner that felt so amazing. Then you watch her stop being a bike and kick someone's face in. She was a badass dancing ninja.
Mm-hmm. Like, and just, I think for Prime, one of the best characters was Wheeljack. I'm a mechanic, fix-it guy, machinist. I do a whole lot of stuff with my hands. That's my day-to-day job. Wheeljack's been my spirit animal. I've always liked him as a character. G1, as goofy as his inventions were, I just love the mad scientist thing about him. And then they turn him into this old badass in Prime. I love the look of the toy. The toy is amazing. The character's awesome. They did such a good job.
Prime toys are hands down some of the best show-to-toy sculpts.
Yes.
And they have the playability. They did it right.
They were durable again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And after 2 movies of delicate toys, it was nice to have Transformers that could actually take some abuse.
Wheeljack has gone through a lot of transformations. He's always been great. I've enjoyed him. Gone from that blocky toy that I have 2 of, one's getting repainted, to the current Prime toy, and it's just amazing. Grimlock, another one that went from various sculpts, from really good to, what the fuck is this crap, to, this is amazing. The Beast Hunters.
Lucky.
What's that?
Grimlock has not been lucky with toys.
It's like
especially
Hasbro has
the last.
Go ahead.
Especially the last wave of movie toys. Like, you work so hard to bring these characters into the movies. You try so hard to appeal to the fans, and then you pull this crap.
Was that Rainbow Grimlock?
That was the problem with me with the toys for the last Transformers movie, Age of Extinction. You got all these Dinobot toys in stores that are every color of the rainbow imaginable. And after you break down and buy one or two of them, they release a box set with all 5 of them in the slate gray and silver from the movies. What the hell?
And then you even look at okay, my bitch with any of the movie toys, I'm not even going to touch the movie, is you even look at them wrong and you're out $40.
Yeah.
They're so fucking delicate and stupid. And the mechanics version of the toys are just god awful.
There are some pretty good toys in the movie lines. I love the Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime leader class. Him and Jetfire. Jetfire's wonky because of the combination, but the two of them together, it just looks fantastic.
I hated the sculpt of that. I absolutely hated the sculpt of that. If I want Jetfire, I will either go Generations, G1, or Cybertron.
Yeah.
Because even with
Jetfire,
what?
The Cybertron Jetfire is pretty damn badass.
And then you combine him with the Cybertron Optimus, and it's just holy hell.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to the movies. Oh, I hate those goddamn things.
I need to get the rum.
Full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, I saw the first one. I wanted to punch the human characters so much, it made me want to vomit. And the only thing the movies had was they had the voice actors from the series, G1 series.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason I finished the first movie. Sam, whatever his fucking name is, his family, the way they treated Bumblebee, the way the bots were portrayed, the way, oh.
Uh-huh.
Yes, background, I had to.
Uh-huh.
When you make a 2-hour movie about robots fighting, and the robots take a secondary seat to characters you want to punch repeatedly.
That's always been a problem with Transformers, though. They want to put the people there to show you how big they are, to get the human side of the story. It's why I said earlier, Stormbringer needs to be a series or something.
When the movies make Energon look well thought out and well written, there's a fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got to the first 10 minutes of the second movie, so it was the same as the first movie, but different location, and I turned it off.
And I want to say to any listeners, no, I will not be picking any song from the fucking live-action movie soundtracks because of Linkin fucking Park.
Fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that wants it can go find it themselves. Fuck that soundtrack. The only good thing that soundtrack ever had was when Disturbed was very lightly involved. And that was good Disturbed. That was post 10,000 Fists Disturbed.
Yeah. I do. So, anything you want to say about the movies, I have no idea about, because after the first 10 minutes of the second one, I was like, fuck it, I'm done, I'm out. Fuck you, fuck you. There's a meme online of Godzilla going into the water going, nope, 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 fuck you, nope, nope, nope. That was me.
Yeah. I have seen all 4 movies. I have gone to all theaters to see all 4 of them. Of the first 3 movies, I like the third one the most, Dark of the Moon. The story was a little bit more thought out. It still human-centric as all hell. It introduced a few characters very briefly, like the Wreckers during production of the movie. The Wreckers are here, and they maybe have 5 minutes of screen time.
I'm sorry, the Wreckers should have more than 5 fucking minutes of screen time. When Prime gave 10 minutes of screen time to just the Wreckers in a half-hour cartoon, no. Fuck you, Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm. But I did like the new character they introduced, Sentinel Prime, voiced by Leonard Nimoy. Was a very well thought out character. It was kind of fun when they tried to mix the background of all the first 2 movies into the third one. how Megatron's master plan has always been this. It's just been building up to this point. So the story itself, I liked a lot more. Optimus flying with his jetpack trailer, that was pretty freaking awesome. But when it comes right down to it, I think Age of Extinction is my favorite of all four of them.
I found Age of Extinction, just from the few bits I've seen online, no. It just...
The big thing, for me, the major points are no Shia LaBeouf. I can tolerate Mark Wahlberg. But I think for me, something about, John Goodman, Hound, the new version of Hound. It's not the original Hound that we grew up with. They're just using the name like they've done with other characters.
Yeah.
But John Goodman, I really like the character itself. The end of the movie, the weird nanobot transformation kind of just throws...
That was such...
It was a cop-out. There's no way to put it. It was a cop-out.
I understand that it was cheaper on the CGI, but sometimes you got to think about more than just cheap budget.
I've been thinking about the animation and how they actually transform ever since the get-go. Because, again, as a mechanic... Okay, you see Bumblebee shows up, and then you see Jazz show up, and Ironhide transforms right there in front of you, and you see all these beautiful-looking robots, and where's the steering wheel? Where's the car seats? I've been saying right from the get-go that if you want to make good Transformers movies, use the alternator toys as your plot points.
Yeah.
They would have been a more G1 look to the movie figures. They would have actually had the proper parts here and there. It might have been a little bit blockier than the whole angular system they're using for what they did use for the movies, but the alternators were a step in the right direction.
Here's the point. I totally agree, and this is why. For the audience at home, I'm holding up my one alternator of Silver Streak, and he's the Subaru version. And it points out everything my friend's talking about here. It still has that car feel, but you can see the actual... Probably end up taking a picture and putting it up on the YouTube. You can see the actual robot car form, and it looks more mechanic.
All of the alternator toys are 1/24th scale model cars that actually look like cars. You can actually see inside and have all the mechanics, steering wheels, gear shifts, seat belts. It's all there on these toys. They're absolutely fantastic. I got a box of at least a dozen of them.
Oh, kiss my butt.
The Grimlock Mustang is my favorite, hands down.
And again, he falls into the category, he doesn't call him that category that just pisses me off, because the alternators were affordable.
Mm-hmm.
And you were getting a good toy for $25.
It's actually really just scares me outright. When the alternators came out, they were $25, $30, and a nice collector grade toy at that. Mm-hmm. Now you get the new Masterpiece cars. You got your Wheeljack, you got Bumblebee now, you got all... They are $150, $100 to get them online, and they're smaller than the alternators.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's Takara, and that's them retooling.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can understand, but I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. That's been one of my big issues right now as a Transformers fan is I love the series. I like the toys, but the corners that are being cut is just getting to the point that I don't want to invest the money on figures that are just really shoddily done now.
When you're getting back to 80s quality with your collector's toys, there's a problem. No, I'm sorry. When the original run of, okay, we're going to sell these toys to kids who are going to bust them up and destroy them, are lasting longer than your collector's grade,
mm-hmm.
You're just out to rip people off.
The big thing for me that really kind of opened my eyes to this whole situation is a couple years ago, well, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, Hasbro started doing a year of the blank figures. Every Chinese New Year, they release a couple figures for the celebration of the year. A couple years ago, they did Energon Optimus Prime and Energon Omega Supreme. With the new repaint and some retooling, they changed Omega Supreme's head and arm blaster, and the Optimus, they just recolored. But the thing that really sucks about these toys is that I have the original Energon Optimus, and then I actually had the Energon Optimus in my hand, and this reissue of the Horse Optimus, or Horse or Pig, or whatever it was. Not only did they take all the electronics out of that reissue Optimus, but he's half the weight. They retooled the plastic to be thinner, so you can actually hold both up to light, and the new one is almost transparent. The plastic's that thin.
God damn it. You transform that more than 6 times, you're going to break the fucking thing. With plastic that thin.
And again, you got the Energon figures, which are 10 years old, or 8 years apart from one release to the other release. And the Energon one was leader class figure in 2004. It'd be about $40. The Year of the Horse thing is being exclusive with fancy box, $150.
Yeah, that's taking the fan base and bending them over.
Uh-huh. And that's why I'm seriously considering just not buying Transformers anymore.
My budget has always prevented me from buying new.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I found a G1 Megatron for 25 cents. I was able to afford it then.
Yeah.
And that was back in the 80s, so you know how that one goes.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I've bought maybe 4 new Transformers in my life. Energon Starscream.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Energon. One was about 5 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
Jet mode to good sculpt. Not a lot there, but a good sculpt.
Yeah.
It came out about the same time as the original alternators did, because I bought him and the alternator Subaru I have here, Silverstick here, at the exact same time.
Yeah.
One was a Generations reissue of Silverbolt.
Mm-hmm.
For one that turns into the chess piece of the aerial bots.
Okay.
It's not Silverbolt. It's
chess piece.
He's the one everybody else chucked up into.
Yeah.
And then they gave him his own big leader class size toy.
Yeah, it was Silverbolt.
It was Silverbolt. I paid $20 for him.
Okay.
He lasted 10 years in my son's hands.
Uh-huh.
I would love to get another one. And one was an original Optimus Prime, and that was because I had gotten gift. The rest have all been secondhand because prices are just absolutely insane for a leader class. Prime, my local drugstore still carries Prime toys for $10-15.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, except the toys are half the size they were.
Uh-huh.
What is the point of that?
Even going right now for the last Age of Extinction, I have the Hound, I have the Evasion Optimus, and they're just slightly bigger than a first movie deluxe. And they're Voyager class.
Voyager class is only slightly bigger than deluxe?
But the Voyager from the first movie was a good 3 inches taller than the ones that are called Voyager now.
Yeah, they've really shrunk the Voyager line, which is sad to say.
Which, if they kept them the same size, they could have had a lot more room for more detail, slightly more intricate transformation. But they've just been getting cheaper and cheaper. Even now, if I want to get...
Oh, go on. Sorry.
Even now, if you want to go to the store and buy a figure, you got to sit and pull the 4 or 5 off the shelf and look at the paint to find one that's the least fucked up. Not that you're going to find a good one. You're going to find one that's less fucked up than the other ones.
And it feels like just the build quality in general has went down. Just, cheaper plastics. The joints aren't quite as good.
Mm-hmm. Like right now, you're seeing a lot of slip joints where they used to have two halves that would lock over a wrist ball. You have a wrist ball that'll slide into an open cavity.
Yeah, and then, people wonder why it falls apart. And then you see, like, even the con exclusives or the order exclusive ones these days, you're paying more for a smaller toy normally. And it's of the exact same poor quality. It's like, okay, so you made 50 of these. That $100 a pop for some of these.
Like,
fuck.
Like,
Pardon me. So, here's a question for everybody on the board.
Yep.
We've had three characters that show up in one form or another, except in Beast War, in every version. Megatron, Optimus Prime, and Starscream.
Yes.
Which version was your favorite of each of those characters?
Oh. I'll have to think about that for a second.
Jay?
Are you limited to cartoons?
Yes, because the movies don't exist in this conversation.
I was going to say that. My Optimus is from the games, actually.
Games were awesome as well. And the molds from the games were fucking fantastic.
Yes.
And just
Expensive as shit, but fantastic.
In War for Cybertron, Optimus Prime, fucking amazing. Starscream Prime, Starscream, because he's a fucking crazy necromancer. Megatron, it's hard to really pick.
That's what's really kind of chapping my ass is just there's so many good, like, is it the character itself? Is it the quality of the voice? Is it the toy? There's just so many different factors to weigh in on all these.
I'm going to have to say for voice acting alone, G1 for Optimus Prime because...
You can't mess with Colin.
Yeah. For Prime, for actual growth and good story, I would have to go with Optimus Prime because that whole arc was just so much growth and so much change, so emotional. It was awesome. Starscream, ooh. Starscream is my boy. I mean, I love him to death. He's just nuts enough to be the foil that you look at Megatron and go, why the fuck do you keep him around? You know he's going to fuck you.
But he's useful as hell. He's a skilled tactician. That's why he's in the number one spot.
Yeah.
Or number two spot.
Number one, sit down. Number one, stand up. Number one, sit down.
Well, it's good to have around to become Galvatron. They kind of blow him to bits.
I wasn't even going to start the whole Galvatron Megatron issue.
Yeah, because that confuses the Megatron issue, because do you consider Galvatron his own character?
Depends on the arc.
Movie Galvatron, I consider a different character, and I still love movie Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
But Galvatron is the better character of the movie.
For me, I think for when it comes to my favorite of all three, I would be focusing more on the actual toys themselves, because the toys are why I'm a Transformers fan to begin with.
Right.
The shows and cartoons and movies are all just an added bonus. But for me, for Optimus, it would have to be the 2000 Robot in Disguise Optimus, and specifically Omega Prime. It's the fire truck itself looks nice. I love the Super Optimus, and then being a combiner just makes it so much better. The Omega Prime is one of my favorite display pieces in my collection. For Starscream, that's a hard one.
Story-wise, I would
Great dreams.
Story-wise, I'm going to have to say Prime. Toy-wise, I'm going to have to say G1. It's a little blocky, and it's the same as the other jets.
Mm-hmm.
But the paint scheme, the Generations version of the G1 is just a fantastic toy.
Yes.
It is a wonderful transformation, very smooth, but it looks a lot like the original G1, but better articulation.
Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to Megatron, for my favorite toy, I would have to say the Energon Megatron.
The tank?
No, the jet from Cybertron.
Yeah, that's not a bad one, but I'm going to have to go Beast Machines for the Megatron toy.
Mm-hmm.
That dragon. I love that damn dragon. He is...
Yes.
The toy stands... When you get the pitch just right, it stands perfectly and floats right.
The only thing with the toy for me is that the dragon arm is just a little bit too long. So we have to have it either raised above his head or draped on the shelf in front of him. It's just about an inch too long for the size of the toy.
Yeah, but it was the only way you could hide the robot hand.
Yeah. But for me, as I said, for Megatron, it would be Energon or Cybertron. I like them both. The Energon one was a great homage to both G1 Galvatron and Megatron. But the triple changer of the Cybertron version, the Batmobile Megatron, was kind of nice too. For Starscream, rig. just for not so much for the character, more for the design, the look. The first major revamp that Starscream got with Armada. I liked the ramjet cannons out of his shoulders. I liked the look of him.
I have that toy. It is a fucking pain in the ass to transform. And it falls apart when you look.
Yeah.
It's durable in some ways, but the joints are just awful.
They did re-release him last year with the Generations line. Smaller deluxe class figure, a more simplified transformation. It's a fun little toy.
I'll have to check it out. Again, funds did not allow for a lot of the re-releases that I wanted.
Yeah. I mean, just manage collecting, for me, 1 or 2 figures a year is pretty much all I can do right now.
And then there's Grimlock. Which version of his toy which version of him was the best for you guys?
Saying for me, the G1, you got to go with the G1.
Yeah.
Then I don't have many of the Masterpiece figures. I only have Starscream, the first Optimus, the first Megatron, and the Grimlock. And the Grimlock is just a fantastic Masterpiece figure. The detail everywhere, the transformation is so accurate. It even comes with the stupid little bow tie and apron from that one episode of the cartoon, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but the price on that Masterpiece Grimlock, Jesus.
Yeah, that's the problem with any of the Masterpiece figures.
So you're saying G1 as well, Jay?
Yeah. That is one of the best Grimlocks out there.
I will go out, though, and say that for Grimlock as a character, I'm more for the G1 and the G1 toy itself. But there should be mention given to the way he looked in animated. The jaw, the big underbite for the dinosaur, and he actually carries that jaw struck on the head sculpt of the robot, was just a wonderful little touch.
It was. Animated really did do a very good Grimlock with its design. And it fit the show so well in that it looks blocky but fluid at the same time.
Again, this animated just surprised me so much about how much I started to like the show and the designs. When I first seen the pictures, I'm just, God, no. But when you start to see it and actually play with the toys, it's really impressive how well they were able to get it to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
I would agree there in that they grew on me. All of them really did grow on me. All of them did have, again, for such a blocky design style, the way everything flowed and was fluid was really impressive.
My favorite toy from animated of all of it was the Jazz. There is zero kibble at all on that robot. It is all purposed for something. There's nothing wasted on it. It looks fantastic.
Worst character ever?
Besides Wheelie, because that's just like shooting fish in a barrel.
No, but I was going to say wheelie myself.
Yeah, that's really, yeah.
I forget his name right now, but in season 3 of the original cartoon, they started to introduce other aliens, and there was that merman warbly thing that popped up from time to time. God, I hated that thing so much.
I'll grant that one was annoying. Jay? Non-wheelie.
That non-wheelie, oh God. It might be said that my second choice is a human, kind of.
Spike.
No, the goddamn girl from Animated.
Oh, I fucking hate Kari. I fucking hate Kari.
There's still one human character that pisses me off more than her. Hi, I'm Rad. Let me tell you about Transformers.
Oh, God.
Here, Rad, stand still. Squish! Fucker.
Like, some of the human characters have at least a purpose. He was just there to give you the dialogue of what you're seeing happening in the first fucking place. Like, shut up and just let me watch it happen.
Human characters, they can either be really good, as proved with Prime and Jax.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can be really bad, as proved with Animated and Kari. Or that dipshit little shit from RID.
So,
the one that ends up going with Optimus Prime to go save his dad.
yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say Ty, but no, that's the AI.
Ty, he looks like a Digimon ripoff.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, Ty in the original RID was the female hologram.
Yeah.
Oh, God, the kid's name. I should know this. 1 second.
Best, yes.
Robot and...
No one than Ravage.
What's that?
No one is better than Ravage.
Soundwave.
Ravage.
Soundwave was kick-ass in Cybertron. He was kick-ass in G1. He suffered greatly at the hands of Animated.
Koji.
Fuck Koji.
That's it. Interesting little Easter egg, though, when you in the very first episode, the first time you see Koji, he's in his bedroom, he's talking on his computer or something. Yeah. There's actually a Hind Lad from Beast Wars Neo as an alarm clock on the shelf.
Yeah, there was the nods to the old shows and Robots in Disguise, but the stories were just awful. The animation was 80s-ish.
It did have some, again, great toys. Most of the toys from that line were just fantastic.
Yeah, they're great toys, but we didn't get them over here. They're hard to find.
Uh-huh. I'm glad that I was able to finally get a hold of Rail Racer, though. Just one of the best combiner toys I have. All the individual robots are pretty wonky, but just all the trains combined, just sleek, it's smooth. Really, really like that figure.
Yeah, and he's also a bitch to get over here.
Yeah.
The fact that you have all three and combined into a nice robot, you can go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Spoiled bastard.
No, just very careless with my money.
And there is the whole of truth of being an adult Transformer collector.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just one more. I'll pay it off later.
Ooh, there's a whole new shiny, pretty.
Uh-huh.
Why is my wallet crying?
Yep.
Oh, look, Transformers in a Steam sale.
Oh, God.
I did like the High Moon games. Fall of and War for.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. Amazing.
No humans, just robots beating up robots. Oh, it's fantastic.
The only thing I dislike is the online multiplayer, and that's not High Moon's fault.
No.
The multiplayer is ass because everyone now cheats.
Uh-huh.
I haven't played the old multiplayer. I just played my DS port.
Mm-hmm.
And all I have right now is Autobots, because DS split the game into Autobots and Decepticons.
Yeah, it sucks when they do that.
Which is fine.
I gotta admit, for both of them, I found the Decepticons a bit more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I found the story a bit better.
Mm. Especially in Fall of Cybertron, it was just more fun to play. Like, the first one, a bit more world building and building up the story and the canon, and then the second one, they just pulled all the stops full steam ahead. Here, you're Bruticus now. Have fun.
I will admit that the second one did have fun playing as Optimus and pointing the cannon while you were fighting.
Yes.
This swarm of Decepticons, just, I'm going to aim my cannon here. Boom!
The only thing that I can really complain about the game, and it's probably more because I don't play that type of game to get really good at it, is in Fall of Cybertron, you have that stupid escort this bomb while people are shooting at it level. I hated that level. It took me 3 weeks to get through that son of a bitch.
Yeah. And the first one, sometimes the vehicle controls are a little wonky. Like when you're playing as Starscream and you have to fly.
Uh-huh.
You're a bit too fast.
Mm-hmm. Another thing for me is that I do wish that the games we were able to configure the controller a little bit, because I'm right in the moment when I'm playing games, and every once in a while I'd be driving away to save my ass because there's an explosion right behind me, and I'll be hitting the forward button so fast I'll click the R3 trigger and transform and start walking. Oh, wall of fire. Sorry. Dead.
I've yet to be able to play this PS3 version because, budget.
Yeah.
But I really look forward to it because it does look really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The DS version isn't bad, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't like the fact that it's been split into 2 different games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's understandable why they did for storage capacity and whatnot.
I understand it. It doesn't mean I like it.
No.
Especially when you're charging, back when they first came out, especially when you're charging $35-$40 a game.
Uh-huh.
That was just nonsense.
One thing that I've been saying for years and years and years, and it still hasn't happened yet, as popular as Transformers has always been, and as popular as video games have always been, why was there never just a simple side-scrolling Street Fighter-style game for Transformers?
Because it wouldn't have the transformation capabilities, and that's the whole point of Transformers.
They could have added race levels.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Until Fall and War came out, and you had the PS2 version of Transformers, and that's the first one you actually could get transformation on, and that was a fun game.
Oh, the Beast Wars one, yeah.
No, the actual Transformers game where you're Red Alert and all them.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. A long time since I played that one.
And that one had more of a GTA engine than it did a
yeah,
side-scroller engine. Because a side-scroller really wouldn't work with the Transformers world. You really kind of need that open sandbox feel.
Yeah, they did make, it was only released in Japan, they did make a Transformers original 86 movie game for the NES.
Yeah, that's a bitch to get imported.
It sucks. I've played an emulator and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Especially because it's all in Japanese, so you have no clue what you're supposed to do until you die.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Adam, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Jay will be back next week, probably with more toys and more noise.
Yes, as I'm queuing something up.
You son of a bitch.
If we're going out proud.
Next week, our guest will be... Oh, crap. Somebody different. He says as he looks at his list desperately. Documents. I'm pretty sure next week is the music week, is it not?
I believe so. I believe next week is our first music episode.
Okay, and it is that, and that means we're going to be needing more music, more playing. Yes, next week is John Kelly with music. We'll be covering various eras, various genres, and it'll be a hell of a time. Thank you again, Adam. Next time we have something interesting like this, we'll have you on the show again.
I'll keep my space bridge open.
Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Tit for Tat.